Okay, so what I want to do now is create the individual chat page. So that will be the localhost slash chat slash ID of whatever the ID is of the recipient UID coming from Firebase. So we'll create that now. So if we go into our code and at the app level, we've already created a login page, but this time we want a chat page, but using a wildcard ID. So this is a new functionality as well. So the folder is going to be chat. And in here, what I want to do is create a subfolder inside here. So array brackets of ID. And this is basically /chat wildcard ID. So it will be the user's UID in our case. So the recipient's UID. So now all I want to do is create a page.tsx. So now that I have the wildcard ID page created, all I want to do is copy essentially what is on the home page, because this is essentially the same structure as the home page, but the only difference is we won't have an image being rendered this time. So let's delete that, and we can import in the sidebar, again fetching the relevant user data, and we want to await get users. So what we can do is, because it's in the home page, we need to just get this get users function and add it into a helper. So in my lib folder, I'm just going to create a new file called helper.tsx in here, and just paste in the get users function and export this out. And we just need to import the relevant type in here. So now we have access to get users across the application. So let's import this in both places. So now if I save, that is working correctly. So all I want to do in the second div is just say that this is a chat, or just type in chat in here. And now all I need to do is navigate to /chat/ a random ID for now, because it's not checking the ID. And you can see here the chat is being rendered on the page. So let's create the UI for this. So we have a header here, we have the main body of the message in here, and then we have an input section there. So let's map this out in our component. So here I'm going to create a module called main screen, which I now need to create in the module section. So new file called mainscreen.tsx, and I'm going to do RAFCE of main screen is react.fc, and then this div is going to have a class name of widthful. It's going to be flex, and all of the children inside are going to be flex of column. So they're just going to stack under each other. Now I'm just going to map what components I need. So I need a header, and then I also need the body for the messages, and then the input is the final one at the bottom. So input. So let's first of all create the main screen header, which I now need to create. So in my components folder, I'm going to close down these ones, and inside I create a new folder called main screen. And inside main screen, I'm going to create a new file called mainscreenheader.tsx, and this will be RAFCE. Again, this is a react.fc, a functional component, and then all I need to do is import this in. So if I go into here, what essentially will happen is I'm going to, first of all, so what I will do is fetch the user data for the chat that I am in based on the params ID. So I will just name this params ID. So anything to do with the params, we will then get from the params object. So you could use it as use params from next.js, and then this will be done in a use effect. So with use effect, so in this case we will need to have use client in on as this component. So we will be fetching the information from the person we're talking to. So what we will need to do is have some sort of use state as well in there. So to style this div out, the header itself will have similar styling to the other header in the sidebar. So it's going to be sticky. It's going to have a top of 0, padding x of 2, essentially p of 2 on the horizontal and y axis as well. So height of 20, which is the same, a bg gray of 200. And I'm just going to bring in the rest of the code here for the styling. Border bottom of gray 400, a z index of 10, display of flex, align item center, and justify content of space between. Then I'm going to add in a div with the account circle icon for now, and we need to import that in at the top. And I'm going to import in a few icons in at the top actually. So if I import these in, now if I save, I should see the header being shown on the page. And you can see here it says main screen is not defined, so I need to import that in. So if we go into page and we need to import main screen from our modules folder. So now if I save all, we now have the header component, but what's happening is the items are being centered. So outside here where the main screen is being rendered, so on the page, what I'm going to do is just change the styling. So we are having a width of full, which is correct. And then all we need to do is have a overflow Y of auto. So now that has gone to the top there, just like so. So that is working correctly. All I need to do now is add in the relevant icons that we need on the header. So going back into the main screen, into main screen header, I am now rendering the account circle icon, and then I'm going to have another div. So this div will have a few icons with inside it. So I'm just going to bring them in, paste them in, and then I'm going to also have a delete outline icon, which is essentially deleting the chat. And the final icon is going to be a sign out button component that I'm going to create next. So sign out button, and this will be a common component. So now if I save, you can see here there's a few icons being rendered, and if I tap on them, they are working correctly. So I just need to do the same wrapper here for the delete outline icon as well. So now that is working correctly on the header. All I want to do next is create a sign out button.